Welcome back to another great episode of Comedians in Bed. And this is a podcast where comedians can be comedians. And as always, man, I don't really know what that means. It just sounds like something you should say on a podcast, but as always, I got another great guest here for us. Man, this guy is funny all the way from Dallas, Texas, but he makes his way. His comedy style is in LA right now, and he's doing this thing. He's making big waves, making you laugh. If you haven't made you laugh yet, that's because you're doing yourself a disjustice by not going to go see him. We got the very funny, the very talented Dwight Pryde, everybody.
So, hey, thank you for having me, man.
Sure.
Thank you for having me.
So I read real quick because I really do like this. I read that you I don't know if you currently still are, but you used to be a chef.
Yeah, no, I still do my thing. I still do my thing. That pay the bills up until comedy kicks in full speed.
What what's like your favorite dish?
I'm a fish eater. So
Okay.
anything like salmon, sea bass, halibut, mahi, I'm all in for.
Okay. Well, you must be eating good fish because you got good skin over there, my brother. Like
Well, thank you,
I
thank
always
you.
thought you was a vegetarian, as good as your
Thank
skin
you. I
is.
ain't never heard another man say that to me before. I don't know how I should feel. I guess I kind of blushed, but that was my natural reaction.
Yeah, you see so many black people with acne scars and just looking like Kiki Palmer when she do with makeup off. You gotta give a compliment.
Oh man, no, I'm gonna tell you the number one secret because people don't know I'm 39. I'm
Really?
39 years old, man.
Okay.
Two kids, 39 with
Okay.
kids. Two boys though. People don't think that I have kids because I look happy, but I have two boys. So this is how you stay rejuvenated is with boys. Got two girls. I would look like Morgan Freeman, Barack in office. No, but no, stress free, man. Just don't stress. Don't
Yeah.
stress. No matter what life throw at you, man. It was supposed to happen, and you're supposed to get through it. So don't stress.
Yeah, I've been taking my I mean, not that I ever had bad skin, but a couple years I took it more seriously, and then I went to a dermatologist this year, and it's gotten a lot better. She was trying to take my moles off my face. I'm like, nah, man, keep these on for right now till
Yeah.
they pop up and get a little bigger, then we could take them off. But we're gonna keep them for right now.
Yeah.
Two kids, 39. How do you stay motivated with two kids? Is it the two kids that keep you motivated, or
It's a combination of just competitive and not even like competitive with other people. Just with myself. I live in South Central. I live in Watts, so that's a motivation itself. You know, the writing's on the wall.
how do you stay alive in Watts? Because I was reading up that you come from the middle class suburbs of Dallas. So how do you stay alive? And was it like a culture shock when you moved into Watts?
Um, Was it a culture shock? Yes. Yes, it was. It was a culture shock. But just moving to LA is a culture shock.
Facts.
Period. It's from the South.
Yeah.
And then diving straight into, well, I didn't come straight into South Central though. I moved to Santa Monica first because the company that moved me out here, they set me up in a place out there. So I only lived like a couple of blocks from the beach when I first moved here. And I don't know if I'm stepping on any questions that you might have for me, but yeah, no. So my first, I could probably say half year, 6 months here in LA,
Uh-huh.
I thought Santa Monica, Venice, Malibu was LA. I
Right.
thought I didn't go past that. I didn't go past like UCLA type, you know what I'm saying? I didn't go
Mhm.
past. So when I stopped working for the company, and they even let me stay in Santa Monica for 5 weeks. It was like, you gonna come back to us. You gonna come back. I was like, nah, I think I want to do this writing thing and
Yeah.
comedy. I'm gonna go give that a shot. And so they was like, nah, you tripping. They let me stay in Santa Monica for 5 weeks, rental car, everything. And I was like, nah, I'm out. And it
Yeah.
was like, you'll regret this. And then I moved to Crenshaw and Slauson, and which is, yeah.
Different.
And that's when I was like, oh no, this is LA. This
Yeah.
right
It
this is
wasn't
what
la-
I movies.
it wasn't last year, but it was the year before last. I was out in LA, and my friend who was born here, he lived out in LA, and he took us around Watts, South Central, Sloss, and all that type of stuff. I was like, hey man, I'd rather hear about it in songs, brother. You don't gotta give me a tour. Like I don't want a tour, bro. I don't want a tour.
Oh God.
But that's what's up. You like you going after your dreams, and you kind of what to some may say seem look like you took like a couple back steps, but to you it was actually moving forward. How was that process? Did you find like trouble like convincing people, or did you have your own moments of doubts?
Uh well, my older sister was the hardest person, actually,
Mm,
because she's 5 years older than me. It's not a big age gap, but she was like the parental figure. I don't know. I guess that seems kind of weird to say, but she was probably the hardest one to convince. And it's not like I had to convince anyone, because the decision I made was less than a week. From the time I said I'm going to LA to the time I was on the plane going to LA was less than a week.
right.
So my sisters were pretty pissed at me for just up and leaving and moving across the country. But no, it was really just I didn't feel like my life was complete in Texas. I knew it was something out there for me, and I always wanted to live in LA. So
Yeah.
yeah, it did seem like I took a few steps back, but I feel like I wasn't growing because I'm like the only guy in my family, like the
Okay.
only male in my family. So when you're surrounded by women, especially successful women who went to college, careers, it was almost like I couldn't fall.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't fall. I couldn't even grow up. Like if I still go, like I just came back from my grandma's house out in Houston or whatever, and she won't stop trying to pay for everything or throw money at me.
Yeah.
That's that's how my kids are out there right now. So that's how they're like, she won't stop giving us cake for breakfast. And I'm like,
Yeah.
she.
I understand exactly what you mean. I got five siblings, but I got four sisters, and all my siblings are older than me except for one. And all my sisters, except for the one that passed, all of them got like master's degree and shit. Like so, then once I got my bachelor's, like, okay, now you gotta get your master's, and I said, who
Yeah.
getting that? I remember when I got engaged, and my sister was like, "Yeah, the ring is supposed to be this much." I was like, "And again, who got this type of money? Like, you live in a house in Georgia, my nigga. Like a brand. I don't got that type of money. Like, so I definitely understand that. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I'll be having to remind myself, like, this is my life, and this is what I want to do. But I honestly think, like, probably after I came back, because I used to live in Texas too, but it was only short lived. But once I came back and I started to like do acting, start writing, and started doing comedy, I think they kind of saw my joy and kind of like my passion, and like, what are you doing? Like, what have you been up to? And I was like, oh, I just go to mics, just go to mics. It's like, oh, you really serious about this? And I would send them tapes, and they would see the progression, and then they was like, oh no, you serious about this?
Yeah.
And they got more on board. You know what I mean?
Same
That
shit.
sister shit is hard.
You don't have to convince your parents. Your grandparents gonna be like, do what you want to do, baby.
Yeah.
It's your siblings that's in it, your sisters, because they have your best interest at heart. Like,
Yeah. How many
so,
sisters do you got?
shit, man. I'm sorry for cussing.
No, you
That's a tricky topic, man. I'm kind of in the same boat with you, man. I got one living sibling. One,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. The one that's not alive, I wish she was alive still, because she was like the one that I mean, all my sisters can go there, but she was the hoodest of them all. Like, you
the
know what I
family
mean?
goes
And
first.
I be needing somebody. I be needing somebody to beat somebody up. I'll be like, sis, please, can you just come knock them out for me? You know
How
what I
long
mean?
ago? How long ago did
It's 2024. I would say it wasn't 2022. Had to be 2021 or 2022. Yeah. I honestly can't remember. I'll probably say 2022 is when she passed away. I think, or 2021, one of them. So it hasn't been too long. Yeah, yeah. And now, like, I see like her kids, and because I ain't really like see her kids a lot before that. I ain't really see her or anything like that much before she passed away. But I see her kids, and it be reminding me of her and stuff like that. Like it even came down to like my comedy anniversary. I don't know that day. I just knew it was like September or October. So she
Mm.
passed away in like October. So I just made it her day that she died, just to kind of like honor her and shit. Because one of the last time I saw her, the second last time I saw her, she came to a show of mine that I produced and shit. But I had to kick her out because she was drunk as fuck.
That's a memory.
It'd be crazy, man. It'd be crazy. But now that you're out there doing your comedy and doing something else that you love to do, how do you feel as uh I, I want to say as a man, but just more so as like as a person that you are finally doing what you love and you're fighting for it too, you know? Like if somebody say you can't do it, it's like, yeah, I can do it and I am doing it.
um, I told someone recently that I didn't move to LA with the intent to do comedy.
Hmm.
I know that sounds bad to like higher level people. I started, someone told me to go do it. They were like,
Yeah.
go do stand up comedy. You're in, and the word, they said the quotation, they were like, you're in into Hollywood is going to come through stand up comedy. Go do comedy. And so I did it. And I fell in love with it immediately just because I'm a people's pleaser. I'm a narcissist. I love attention and I love to be around a lot of people, but I just don't like to be with a lot of people. Like I'm perfectly fine with being alone, just surrounded by a lot of people. That's weird, I know, but
I understand you completely.
I'm kind of like the guy in the shadows. I'll go to like a festival, but just kind of lurk in the shadows to people watch. You know what I'm saying? Watch everybody else enjoy their time. But I started living my dream before I even knew what it was. And that's crazy. It took me 5 years, well, about 5 years in comedy before I started realizing like this has been the dream all along. I just didn't know it.
Right.
Because coming from the South, it's all about sports and church. Sports and church. That's it. You tell somebody you want to be a stand-up comedian, they will be like, well, you better go to college. You better
Yeah.
go tell them jokes in college and go get you a job at the post office.
Right.
So I started living my dream before I even knew what it was. And
That's
now
dope.
the progression is crazy.
That's dope. Now that you're making your wave, you're up here with what's his name, Bill Bender, like doing shows with
Oh,
him.
Mike Binder.
Yeah, Mike Binder, my fault. How do you? One thing I kind of struggle with is like not every audience, but most audiences are mainstream, could be majority white or whatever, and they kind of like size you up before you even tell a joke. They like, okay, it's a black comedian. He's gonna give us all these nigga jokes, these baby mama jokes, these roaches jokes. But then you might come and have like an out of the box take or whatever. Like, how do you fight that as a comic? That's one of my biggest struggles because I'll be up there and I'm like, I know this is funny. I know it ain't what you want, but I'm still gonna get through this set. Like, how do you fight through that?
I don't. I don't fight it. I don't fight it. Energy is currency, man. LaRussell said that energy is currency. When you walk in that room, like I like to look at the audience. I don't really go to the green rooms. I don't, unless I'm hosting the show, I don't do green rooms. I like to be around the audience so I can see what they reacting to. The audience, the demographic, if they looking, that determines what your performance. To me, that works for me. It determines my performance. I can give the same set to an all white audience, all Hispanic audience, all Asian audience, or all black audience. I can give the same exact set. It's just how you deliver that set. That's the determining factor. And then the time of your show determines how you deliver that set too. A 7 o'clock show and a 9 o'clock show is two different shows. So, and that's just stuff that I've learned through, mentors and just comedians who've been doing it for so long. Mike Binder, I love the name Bill Bender, by the way. You have to keep
Yeah,
that, use that for like a cartoon or something. Bill Bender sounds like a reckless guy. But Mike Binder, he put me on so much. He put me on. And whenever we were in a room with like the owner of the club or just a mega star, he would always, hey, this is my guy Dwight, like introduce took off.
yeah, yeah.
So, and I have to you have to have love for your OGs and your legends like that, that's their legacy is what, and that's the whole kick of it too, is legacy. What it's not what you do, is what you leave. So him doing that stuff, he left that with me, and then I'll do it for somebody else and leave that with them, and that's how you snowball that. See, that's how you snowball it.
How do you use your acting abilities in your set, or do you not use them at all?
I have zero acting abilities, but I have been acting like I live in Watts, that I'm from Watts for the past 6 years.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Even though I'm a suburb kid, but you better know your surroundings. You better fit in real quick. You better not, because you act like a suburb kid around here, you're gonna get.
How? Wait, hold on. How is how have you survived in the hood, being raised in the suburbs?
Uh, it's the same people. It's the same. I
Mm-mm.
tell people all the time, it's more crime and corruption going on in the suburbs than it is in the hood. To be
Yeah.
honest with you. So if you can survive the suburbs, you definitely can survive the hood.
Yeah,
Way easier. Way People have no idea. The hood is the safest place to be.
yeah, yeah.
It's not safe after a certain time and in certain pockets, but it's the safest place to be because you're squared in. The hood is generally center and everything surrounding it. You're safe. It's a fortress. Versus the suburbs, it's just every man for himself. It gets dangerous in the burbs. It gets
Yeah,
dangerous
yeah.
in the burbs. And they don't air everything on the news either. Like
Yeah.
all the news is about the inner city. The real crime that's going on ain't making the news.
That's funny. Oh man, I never thought of it like that before. But I also never lived in a suburb, so
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah, no, I was
oh
a suburb kid, but people in the suburb ain't nothing but people from the hood. They got some money. Parents got some money. So you
yeah,
still the same knucklehead McDonald family. You just got a little money now.
yeah. Oh, all right. I'm related to comedy. Which music do you like more now? Do you still enjoy down south music, Dallas music, or are you bumping West Coast more?
Oh man, I listen to a little everything, man. I listen to a little everything. I find myself listening to more like self help stuff, like Neville
Okay,
Goddard, Jim Rohn, freaking what's his
yeah,
name, David Goggins. I listen to all those. I listen to a lot of self help stuff, man. Just because I think the past 3 years, and I'm just going back on the sibling thing. So July 4th, 2021, my two little sisters were killed on her birthday, actually. So I think when the sibling dies, I think all the siblings die in a way. Like, even though two of them still living, we all kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like pieces of us died too. So I I don't know. You just gotta listen to more uplifting things
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
I understand that. My condolences. My favorite ones, because I listen to self help too, is my favorite ones that I listen to. I want to meet him so bad. He used to live here. He used to be a senator here. Is Les Brown.
Oh yeah, he still yeah, that was the first person I actually started listening to.
Yeah,
Was
man.
Les Brown, and phenomenal.
Yeah, that's my guy. I also like I don't know if she's American. I feel like she's British. She has a weird accent. Louise Hayes.
Oh
I
yeah.
like Louise Hayes, and I like Lisa Nichols. I like Lisa Nichols too. Yeah, growing up, like I grew up in a very both my parents were very negative. My mom isn't anymore, but my dad is. So I had a lot of negative thoughts about myself, just thought negative about a lot. And then when I started to do my own uh journey of like mental health and just being healthy in general, like I just started reading books and went to therapy and stuff. And then I found this great podcast called Quote of the Day, where this guy, he just takes speakers. It could either be motivational speakers, it could be pastor, it could be athletes, and they
Mhm.
basically give you like a quote, but it give you like a part of their speech. And that's when I started to learn about daily my daily routine. um Now, who was you before, and then who are you afterwards? Like your mindset changing after listening to motivational speaking.
Um, well, to go back, I never went to therapy. I can't do therapy. I can't. I'd rather join a gang before I go to therapy, man. I'd join a gang or the military or something if I want to get something off my chest. No, but before I was like you, like a negative thinker. Like I, but I don't know. You know how we use confidence and arrogant as a front to cover up. You know what they say: the loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure. That's true.
Yeah.
True. Uh, I just got quiet. I just get quiet after and the universe will talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And everything runs off your energy. Whatever like energy you giving off, that's what you're gonna receive. That's why I said anybody can survive in a hood because it's all in your energy. If you giving off that fuego, you gonna get that. But if you giving off like pot, like trust me. Okay, so I'm walking down Western, and I forgot where I was coming from, but I'm walking down Western, and in front of the park, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Why am I doing this? Have no idea. I just moved to LA, and so it's probably 60 people outside just blocking the sidewalk in front of the park. And I got my backpack on. I'm walking down. I got a hoodie on, and I'm like, all right, I got two decisions. I can either go straight and like be like, "Excuse me, gentlemen," or I can cross the street and just walk on the other side of the street. What's the correct decision in that situation?
Across the street.
Absolutely wrong. That's how people don't survive in LA. You cross the street, you look like a op.
Yeah.
You walk through there, you look like you just trying to get to where you're trying to go. But if they see one person with a backpack on cross the street, they finna press you on that. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I grab my backpack, tight it up. Hey, I'm looking extra studious. You feel me? Hey, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse me, gentlemen. Hey, hey, nice shoes. Hey, and you don't get pressed
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because people really like I said, it's all energy, man. If you approach people with respect, you have no choice but to give it back. That's balance.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one big major goal or like a current goal for you in your career of comedy?
A sitcom in production starring me. That's the ultimate goal.
So are you writing right now currently or want to write for sitcoms? Why specifically sitcoms? Are we talking like old school sitcoms or like Martin? Or are we talking about like new school sitcoms like how Insecure runs?
Like our insecure runs. That
Okay.
the Martin style is expensive.
Mm,
That's his whole setup. Sitcoms have evolved so much to where you can get a Canon 5D. You feel me? Or what's the other one? A C1 and C3. Rig it up, and you can do a one camera shot, and it's cheaper, way cheaper
yeah.
versus multicam. You need an actual simplified, and that's all
Yeah.
Hollywood did was just simplified jobs.
I get that. I get that. What would your sitcom be about?
Well, one of them is mainly about my transition from suburban Texas or just suburban life to pretty much. I ain't gonna say the projects, but the writing's on the wall.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I want my sitcom to be about. I don't know if it's specifically about a church or just one person, but just like I think church is hilarious. Like church is hilarious,
Yeah.
man.
Black
Like
church is even funnier.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's church is like high school. Church is like it's like high school or HBCU. It's just like it. I don't know, your phone, the computer froze and it froze like on a weird face. So it's actually scaring me right now. I don't know if you can hear me, but I guess you can't hear me. I'm gonna just stop talking. Can you hear me? I'll type in the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep talking because I want to take a screenshot of the picture that it froze on. Okay, I'm by myself now. Okay. Hey, listen, I'm by myself. I can do this. I'm like, I guess Howard Stern or something. I don't know if that's a good person to use because that guy says some crazy things and he could have been canceled and I didn't know and I just used him as a analogy. So that wasn't a good idea. But yeah, I do stand-up comedy. I love it. It's fun. I'm in LA. I have 2 kids, 2 boys. I don't know if you guys remember me saying that. I'm a boy dad. I'm in their room now. They're out of town right now. And I'm not gonna say I'm enjoying it because that would be mean and they would have to listen to this when they grow up. So I'll just say it's been an experience with them being out of town. And I've been here having to do comedy with no interruptions. Geez, what kind of men just have the ability to live the single life for a few weeks? Take that, single guys. Being single is whack. I'll say that. Let's make a podcast about that. Being single is whack. And if somebody's single, if a girl's single, okay, here we go. I'm just talking. I'll do that.
I appreciate you.
I was about to get in my bag. I was about to say, listen, man, if you see a beautiful woman and she's single, that's a red flag.
Yeah, no facts, no facts. I got one of my I wouldn't call her a friend, but she an acquaintance. We went to college together. She's starting to do comedy now. Beautiful as fuck, gorgeous. She could be a whole goddamn model, but she's single though.
Yeah.
She's single though. And I seen her on an episode of what was the real red flag? I seen her on an episode of Kevin Samuels. I was like, oh nah. I was like, you dodged the bullet, brother. Definitely dodged the bullet. But nah, man. I actually like everybody be like, how do you find these people? I literally just randomly like scroll through people's IG and see what they follow and then look at their profile and shit. But I'm glad we actually connected. We're a lot more similar than what I thought we would have been. And I think you're hilarious, and I think you got a lot to offer people. And I always tell people this too, man. I'm actually like happy that you actually decided to go for your dreams because like you only live one life and you never know like you going for your shit, how that can inspire someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's really dope. And especially like after dealing, with tragedy, from your sister's untimely death, like that can make somebody stop, like be like, all right, fuck life. I don't want to do this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? But you keep going. I think that's super dope. Like for me, like I found out my sister passed like probably like 5 minutes before I had to go on stage and still went up there and did that shit. You know what I'm saying? But her death wasn't it wasn't unexpected to me because last time I seen her 2 front teeth was missing. I was like, yeah, she don't plan on being here too much longer. So I was expecting it to happen, but nonetheless, it's still it's still something to deal with. And my question is, how do you deal with even from day to day? Like if you just got too much going on in your head, is like comedy your escape, or like sometimes you go up there and you be distracted and you gotta like fight through that shit?
Um, no, I treat it as if I just hadn't spoke to him in a really long time. So yeah, it was on 4th of July. So I'm outside partying or whatever. And my older sister called, and I just kept saying what because I couldn't hear. I heard
Mm,
what she said, but I went deaf. I threw up everything I ever ate because I'm in LA and Texas.
yeah,
So yeah. It was but I just say it like this, man. You got I believe stars are just people that transition on. So when you look in the sky, that they are. You feel
yeah.
me? So you just got I just got two new angels that'll help guide my path and that'll bargain in the afterlife for me. That's all I look at it. They're
That's
not
a
gone, they just elevated. They transition.
that's a dope perspective. That's a really dope perspective. When my sister passed away and she was at my comedy show and I kicked her out. Like, okay, so my sister was a drug addict, and so like when drug addicts sometimes they beat themselves, sometimes they not. So when
Mhm.
she finally came to, like when she was at the show, like she was like when she was drunk, she was, but like when she told me this, I could tell it was her, and she was like, "I'm really proud of you, like really proud of you," and I was like, "Hey, that's all I needed to hear before you left." You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really like see her that often, so that's what's up, man. That's super dope, and
That's crazy. That's crazy you said that. The one of they were young. One was like what was 28 and 31. It was her 31st birthday. Uh one of them was a teacher and the other was a federal attorney. So and it was the pandemic-ish kind of time. And out here in LA, we was the last one to open up anything. So
uh-huh.
they actually came to I had a competition, like a stand-up comedy competition, and they actually came to it, even though it was like 11 o'clock where they was. They still logged on. My sister's like, oh my God, I gotta be to work in the morning. But she was like, I'll still come. Both of them actually, logged in or whatever. And so after I got done with the competition and won it or whatever, my little sister was like, the attorney, she was like, no, you were actually good. Like you were funny. And I was like, oh, thank you, whatever. She was like, no, I'm being dead ass right now. Like, you're actually really good at it. You have presence. And she was like, you've been funny your whole life, but she was like, you need to stick with it. And
Mhm.
that was like 2 or 3 months before she passed. And that
Yeah,
was the only show, of course, because like I said, I started comedy out here. So that was the only show that they ever came to.
yeah, yeah. Life, man, super hella crazy, man. That's super hella crazy. My
Yeah.
sister is the one that got me. I wouldn't say she got me into comedy, but she definitely got me into entertainment. She had me, I think it's just one moment, like we was sitting down, we was watching Friday, and I was like, damn, like I want to do that. Like she was like, that's Ice Cube. And I was like, I like Ice Cube. And ever since then I've been a fan of Ice Cube, just like how he do everything. He rap, he write, all act, all that type of shit. So she's the one that definitely got me into it. For sure.
I never spoke about it. Never spoke about it. People don't know.
About your sister's calling you or
No, my
texting you?
sister's passing. I never spoke about it. Like people out here don't know. I never posted about it. It's not on social media. Like I was it's been 3 years and I think I'm finally ready to like even make like a happy birthday RIP post like Thursday. It's been three
Yeah.
years. I've never spoke about it in 3 years.
Yeah, that should be tough. I don't even go around my dad.
Yeah. My
Because like I
stepdad my stepdad, like, because one of my youngest sister, her stepdad or whatever. I mean her dad, but yeah, that's to bury your child, that probably has to be the hardest thing to do. Young, like young.
yeah. I don't be going around my dad because I know he's not like single-handedly responsible, but like just seeing my sister growing up, and from what I, you know, could see and everything, he kind of, I don't want to say he made her life harder, but I just kind of want to say like he didn't help the situation, and he kind of like enabled her, and then she kind of enabled his addiction, and it's just kind of like, dog, like you never really try to get her no help. I've been on the phone with him while he was on the phone with her while she was in jail, and I'm like, you didn't offer too much help. You know what I'm saying? I kind of see him take some responsibility, but I be kind of staying away because I be trying not to misplace the blame. Like I can't fully blame him, but I can also say he could have did more. You know what I'm saying? And so I be trying not to misplace my anger onto him.
Yeah, I mean, part of being a parent, to be honest, my dad died when I was 1, so I didn't have that, you know, and to end up with 2 boys was crazy. But I feel like being a parent is just raising yourself and your child at the same time, and
Oh
each
yeah,
child is going to be different. So when you have your second kid, you're going to have to re-raise yourself and that child at the same time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not a father yet. I'm 30. I'll be 34 in the next 6 months. I'm not a father yet. This is something I'm looking forward to. But then I do, like, as I get closer and I want it more and more, I'm like, yeah, you probably gonna have to deal with some more childhood wounds. Like when you, because it kind of reminds you like, dang, my dad wasn't here for this. Okay, this is how I'm gonna do it and stuff like that. But it is a journey that I'm looking forward to whenever that happens. But I think the fact that you got 2 kids and you going after your dreams, even in the midst of adversity, I think that's even commendable. I mean, you could be selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? But you
Could
you,
be.
you out
Thank you for
here.
giving me a good idea. I'm in a perfect location. You got me, G
I
Money. You got me, G Money.
and I'll be looking at my mom, be like, man, you know what, man? I just want to sell crack, bro. Why can't I just sell the crack, come up, pay my student
Man,
loans off, and go on about
you
my
don't
day?
sell crack. Crack sells itself, man. You just gotta hand it out.
Oh man, Dwight, as we wrap this up, man, I always end it with the same questions. What's some words before we get to that? Who is on your Mount Rushmore for comedy?
Ugh. I'll start with Kevin Hart. I'll start with Kevin Hart. People don't give Kevin Hart the flowers that he deserves because it's that mentality that once one of us gets our freed papers, everybody now has to hate on that person. But as long as they're on that plantation with us, we love them. I don't know if that was the right analogy to use, but it sounded good. It felt good coming from the heart. But
Understood.
no, because everyone loves you as long as you're reachable. But once you climb that mountain
Yeah,
and take all those stones thrown at you, nobody likes you.
yeah,
Uh, Kevin Hart, I'll say Arnaz J. I don't know if you know who Arnaz J is.
yeah. He's always on my Mount Rushmore.
Arnaz J by far, because I was never a performer. I didn't do any theater stuff. I was never a performer. If you ever want to learn performance, Arnaz J. Earthquake. Earthquake is hilarious. And also, to be honest, a lady named Eliza. Eliza has probably some of the best stories I've heard anyone tell. Eliza is funny as shit.
Okay, all right. Very different. Usually, everybody come in here say Eddie, Richard, all that type of stuff. Like I said, Arnett J is always on mine. He was the first comic I actually seen like live at a comedy show, so I fuck with Arnett J. What are some words of encouragement that you can give to any comedian listening to this right now?
Um, be yourself. And as cliche as that sounds, this business is 10% talent. 10% talent. It's 90% business. And you as a person is the business. We don't need more Hershey chocolates. We need some Kit Kats. Once again, I'm not the best with analogies, but you see what I'm saying? Like, we don't need another person. We don't need another Kevin Hart. We need a Dwight Pryde.
Yeah.
Be yourself. A lot of people go up there imitating famous people, and when I see them doing, I'm like, oh, that's Jerry Seinfeld you're doing right there. That's we don't need another one of those.
Right. Right. My fault. I missed my cue to hit this.
Message.
All right. Now, tell people Dwight why they should listen to Comedians in Bed.
Oh, you should actually listen to it. I'm gonna be honest. This isn't your ordinary questions, and it wasn't the ordinary conversation. People listen to this who not even like in the comedy realm, just because the topics we were talking about is. I'm gonna be honest. It might be some therapists listening to this, and they'll be like, "Hey, we need to help these brothers. They dealing with some trauma. They dealing with trauma, but they just try to laugh through it. I know they crying at night, right? But that's comedy. Comedy, literally, people think comedy is jokes. That's not comedy. Comedy, by definition, is pain plus time or something. Pain plus time equals comedy. I could be wrong, but that's all that's what comedy is. So the fact that we're talking about, childhood traumas or experiencing losses in our adulthood, or potentially having kids, or one of them has kids and now you're raising yourself and your kid at the same time, that's true comedy. To me, that's because it's coming from a real place.
Yeah. Dwight, tell people where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram, Dwight Pryde, DWIGHT PRYDE. Really, anything you type in, Dwight Pryde, everything, TikTok, what is it, YouTube, IG, Facebook, Dwight Pryde. I don't post all of my accomplishments. I'll say that I don't. A lot of stuff I don't post. And someone told me that don't post everything because you don't want to give people a reason not to like you. Which sucks because you want to do it, but you
don't got a what they call a Finsta.
What, like the LinkedIn and
it's like an Instagram account where you post all the shit you really want to post.
Oh yeah, what I heard, who was that 21 Savage said something about a Finsta in a song. I gotta look into that, man. Y'all young guys out here.
Yeah. Hey, I got one of my. I used to coach track, and I still keep in contact with him after they graduate. And he's like, yeah, my Finsta. I'm like, nigga, what is a Finsta, dog? At the time, I didn't even have an Instagram. I'm like, bro, what the? So it's everything you post you really want to post. I'm like, why don't you just post that on the young people, man? I don't know, man. But if you want to see next week's episode, man, catch us next week live on my YouTube page, TYE Comedy. We drop every Tuesday at 11 a.m., 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to, this podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And then if you want weekly clips, you can check us out on Comedians in Bed podcast on Instagram. All right. But until then, we will definitely see you guys next week. We want to give it up for my man, Dwight. If you out in LA, please check him out. He's a very funny guy. Dwight, thank you. Everybody else, see you guys next week.